Yo, what is up, you obtuse triangles, and welcome back to another boring math video here in Borderlands 3. Today, I bring you guys another dedicated drop rates video, and this time we are going to be taking a look at Killavolt's drop rates. In the most recent patch, Gearbox decided to thin out each enemy's loot pool and spread the loot more evenly. This will in turn increase the drop rate for each item in loot pool. So now Killavolt only drops the 9V and the Monarch. So for this video, I farmed Killavolt 1000 times, 500 before the update and 500 after the update. And we're going to compare the dedicated drop rates before and after this patch. First, we will focus on post-patch results. Here we will take a look at the number of world drops, not including class mods and artifacts. We're also going to be taking a look at how many of the anointed world drops were for Amara and how many were for other characters, just to show you what percentage of character-specific anoints will be for your Vault Hunter. We're also going to be taking a look at the number of class mods and also grab the percentage of the current Vault Hunter, which was Amara, and the percentage of the other Vault Hunters. After this, we will take a look at the dedicated drop rates, and here we will do a before and after comparison. And finally, we will go more into detail on the Monarch drop rates and answer some common questions that people have on these videos. So before I get into this video, if you found it informative or helpful in any way, a like rating is always appreciated, and if you want to subscribe for more content like this, that'll be awesome as well. So let's not waste any more time and jump right into the results. After 500 Killavolt kills on Mayhem 10, I got 1030 world drops. That was about 2 legendaries per kill. And keep in mind, all of them were anointed since there was no class mods or artifacts included. So, out of the 1030 anointed items, 439 were character-specific anoints, which makes up about 42.6%. And out of those 439 character-specific anoints, 254 were for Amara, 58%, and 185 were for other characters, 42%. This is a very interesting stat that I will be expanding on in the future, and this shows that character-specific anoints will definitely drop more for the character you're currently using. So now let's take a look at how many class mods I got. I got 188 class mods, which is a 37.6% drop rate, and that is amazing. Killavolt is a really good class mod farm. And now 132 of those were for my specific character being Amara, that was 70% of them, and 56 were for other Vault Hunters. So it's safe to say that once again, the character you're playing does have an influence on what class mods you get. So now let's move on to the dedicated drops. And here I will compare the 500 kills before and after the update. So before the update, I had 190 total dedicated drops, and now I only got 145. As you can see, the total number of dedicated drops was higher before the patch. However, please do not think that the drop rates were lowered. The reason why it was higher before is because Killavolt also had the Transformer and the Moxie's Bouncing Pair, and both of them can also drop as world drops. And now we only have the 9V and the Monarch, and those can only drop as dedicated drops. So basically the reason why we had more before is because some of those Transformers and some of those Moxie's Bouncing Pair that we were getting were actually dropping as world drops. Anyway, moving on. Additionally, we know that the dedicated drop rate for Killavolt is 30%. And as you can see, the drop rate after the patch is right around 30%. And before, we actually got 38%, but once again, that was only because of reasons we already discussed. Anyway, I just wanted to make it very clear that the drop rates have not been lowered. In fact, they have been indirectly doubled by lowering the amount of dedicated drops in its loot pool. So now let's take a look at the specific Monarch drop rates that we got. Before the patch, after 500 kills, I got 43 Monarchs, which is an 8.6% drop rate. And after, I got 76, which is a 15.2% drop rate. So as you can see, the drop rates for me nearly doubled, because now the 30% dedicated drop rate for Killavolt has only been split between 2 drops. So in theory, they should double their drop rates. With that out of the way, let's focus on the current Monarch drop rates. I got 76, which gives us a 15.2% drop rate, and the data mined drop rate for the Monarch is around 16.5%. So my result was pretty close to the theoretical drop rates. However, When you start farming for yourselves, do not expect to get these same results every single time. Here are the amount of Monarchs that I got after each set of 100 kills. I got 13, then 15, then 17, then 17, and finally I got 14, giving me my total of 76. So as you can see, my drop rate's range was between 13% and 17%. And with this same topic, I wanted to address a certain comment I get way too many times on these videos. I farmed Killavolt 100 times and only got X amount of Monarchs. Well, to help you understand why you're getting more or less than I am, I will use a method called binomial probability confidence interval. This will basically give us a range of results you should expect with a certain level of confidence. So basically, if you take a look at my result of 15% drop rate for the Monarch, and let's say you farm Killavolt 100 times expecting similar results, well, with 95% confidence, after 100 kills, your drop rate can be anywhere between 8.6% and 23.5%. That is a huge gap, and your result will depend on RNG, of course. Now, the more trials you do, the smaller this gap will get. So, let's say you farm him 500 times instead. Well, now your drop rates will fall between 12% and 18%. So, after 500 kills, there will only be a plus or minus 3% margin of error, because 15% minus 3 is 12, and 15 plus 3 is 18. So yeah, the more kills you get, the closer your results will be to mine. I also wanted to answer this concern. I killed Killavolt 50 times and I didn't get a single Monarch. Well, what I can do here is figure out the probability of this happening, and this can be done with the probability of no success, where P represents the Monarch drop rate and X represents the number of kills. We know that the drop rate is 16.5% according to datamine files, so we just do the formula 1 minus 0.165 to the 50th power, because 50 kills. And we get a 0.012% probability of not getting a single Monarch in 50 kills. So either this person is lying, or they are getting extremely unlucky. Like, really unlucky. Moving on, I wanted to talk about the probability of getting an elemental or a kinetic Monarch. Well, there is a 59% chance for a Monarch to be kinetic, and a 41% chance of it being elemental. So, since we had 76 Monarchs drop after 500 kills, theoretically, 45 of those should be kinetic, and 31 should be elemental. However, after 500 kills, 37 of those were kinetic, making about 48.7%, and 39 were elemental, making up about 51.3%. And as you can see, I actually got more elemental than kinetic Monarchs, thus defying the odds. But there is a reason why this is happening. That is because 500 kills is not enough to get accurate results when it comes to kinetic versus elemental Monarchs, because the overall probability of getting an elemental or kinetic Monarch is given that the Monarch actually drops. So you take 16.5%, which is the actual drop rate for just a normal Monarch, and you multiply it by 0.59, which gives you a 9.7% probability of getting a kinetic Monarch. As for elemental, there is a 41% chance for a Monarch being elemental, so you take 16.5%, multiply by 0.41, and there is a 6.77% probability of getting an elemental Monarch. And when you add these two probabilities, you get the 16.5%. So anyways, 9.7% and 6.77% probabilities need more than 500 kills for a reliable margin of error. So, to reduce the margin of error here, with the 95% confidence interval for example, I need to do at least 1000 kills, which would leave you with just a plus or minus 2% margin of error. So, for future videos regarding elemental versus kinetic, I will do more trials. However, for just the general Monarch drop rates of 16.5%, 500 kills is more than enough, as the margin of error here is only plus or minus 3%. But anyways guys, that has been the end of the video. Remember, the theoretical Monarch drop rate is about 16.5%. After 100 kills, you can expect a drop rate anywhere between 9.4 and 24.7%. And after 200 kills, it can range anywhere between 11.6 and 22.4%. As you do more kills, the gap will get smaller and thus providing more accurate rates. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to hit that like button for me as it really helps me out. And if you want to subscribe for more content like this, that'll be awesome as well. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.